You're listening to Permission to Shine, the podcast by Sherisse Bisram. The Oxford Dictionary describes permission as the action of officially allowing someone to do a particular thing, consent, authorization. What if you were that someone and you gave yourself the permission to be everything you wanted to be and more? No more playing small and accepting less than. You are worthy of the life of your dreams, regardless of what it is that you've been through. And honestly, it's exactly what you've been through that has shaped you into the version of yourself that you are now. Like a diamond, you've endured so much, but instead of breaking, you have become stronger and brighter. And if that's not a reason to shine, then I don't know what is. And if nature can do it, then why the hell can't you? You are brave, you are strong, you are powerful, and you are enough. Hear my call and give yourself the permission to shine, because you don't realise how many people are inspired by your light. Like, share, follow, subscribe, and listen out for more. Stay tuned. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 11. We are just going to be listening to me today, and I've got some really insightful things that have come up this week from my clients and also conversations with friends and family members. And I felt like it's really important to share, because I think in sharing our thoughts and feelings, there's a relation there, you know. I think we often feel like we're the only ones feeling those thoughts or things. And actually, when we start to share, we begin to see and understand that we're not alone. And that's really the power of togetherness, and, you know, why I create group programs. And I've now created my community in Facebook for this reason, because I feel like there's so much power in the collective, in the community. And when we share, we bridge that gap between us and being other. And that's why it's important. So what I want to talk about today is about patterns, whether that's patterns in your behavior traits, patterns in the partners that you pick up, or patterns in the way you think and feel. I really want to pull that apart for you today. So with a few of my clients, they have patterns in their limiting beliefs. So our self-worth, for example. So this is across the board as well. Like, you know, I've had 3 different client calls this week, all with the same patterning issues in different ways. It presents itself in different ways. Obviously, we're all multifaceted beings, but ultimately there's a golden thread that connects each and every one of us. And I think it's this idea of us working in some sort of a rhythm. You know, like for a heartbeat, for example, it was like, we also move in that kind of a way, you know, with thought patterns and things like that. And basically how I like to, I guess, explain it is almost like a limiting belief is a bit like, you know, GCSE English, when they say it's like point, evidence, explain. It's almost like this limiting belief has created a case study to which it has its point, its evidence, and its explanation as to why it's valid. So when it comes to your limiting beliefs and dismantling them, we have to first get to the origin of where that came from. Because often your limiting beliefs, for example, you not being good enough, you not being tall enough, you not being the right body shape, all of that derives from somewhere outside of you. Yeah, I said it, it's not yours. It's not your thought. It's something you've picked up from somewhere else. For example, body image. I mean, depending on when you were born, what generation, my generation, there was magazines constantly about weight loss tips and, you know, the fitness DVDs and videos, even that was a thing then. I know I'm quite old now. But this is the thing, like weight loss has been a societal thing for women, you know, like from an early age, you witness the fact that beauty and beauty standards meet a certain criteria. So when you don't fall into that category, by default, you feel unworthy or not beautiful or not desired enough because you don't meet that standard. So that's a societal thing. That's come further externally outside of you. But if you had a parent, for example, your mother, that was constantly on a diet or was saying in front of you, oh, I can't eat that because it'll make me put on weight, or, you know, limited her sugar, or, you know, had a binge fest, all of these words are ingraining in us. And when we're between the ages of 0 to 6, we are the most impressionable. So you know, if you are a parent and you find yourself doing that subconsciously, unfortunately, you are subliminally programming your children in that way. Now, it's not your fault. We're all going around with these patterns, again, these thought patterns that we've been shown from the time before us. But where the self-awareness kicks in is when you can then choose to change the way you think about that situation. So, you know, I have so many women come to me about weight. That is probably one of the common threads with, you know, all of the women that I speak with, whether it's in workshops, in talks, in schools, in workplaces, in my one-to-one clients. Weight plays such a big part. And what I say to everyone is, if you think back to a moment in your life where you were your lowest weight, for example, were you happy? And then when we think back to that time, more often than not, we wasn't happy. And I think that's a very important thing for us to connect the weight and the emotion together. That's just an external thing that links into this, because again, this creates a new case study of beliefs that back up what it is we want to see for ourselves. So our limiting beliefs have ingrained in us so deeply from the case study. And unfortunately, you know, if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years of believing this thing, it's got like a whole library of evidence as to why, you know, you aren't that thing, you aren't good enough, or the right body shape. You know, you have that whole library proven to you, you know, egotistically or I would say surface level cover, you know, evidence here that you aren't that thing. So what we need to do first, like I said, is connect where that origin comes from. It takes its power away. So when I can say to you, your lowest weight was when you were at your most unhappiest, would you want to be in that unhappy state again in order to be that weight? 9 times out of 10, it's a no. You don't want to be in that emotional state again. So that takes the, no pun intended, but the weight off of that idea that you need to be that way again. Because really and truly, when we love and accept ourselves exactly as we are, regardless of our shape and size, that is where the power lies. Now, when I say love ourselves, what I mean is we show compassion and we aren't judging ourselves. We are respecting ourselves in that space, because that's really what you deserve more than anything, is self-respect. And I think when you lead with that from you, you know, you respect yourself fully, you will then in turn see other people respect you on the outside world. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We are a mirror to our whole universe. And when that finally clicks, when the penny drops and that sinks in, everything will start to fall into place, at least better than it did before. So another thing that we can do within these patterns is relationships. And again, it does come down to knowing yourself and knowing how you navigate life. You know, like, again, these trigger responses and the things that we do when we feel uncomfortable. I've said it before in my previous episodes, but it's, you know, the power of self-awareness is knowing that when someone is too full on, I get scared and I run away. Or when someone pulls back, I then run in. And you can look up your attachment style just online. There's loads of like, you know, generators where you can just type in along with your love language and things. These are great as well when you're in a partnership, and you can see like how both of you work, and then you can find a common thread to make it work. Because ultimately, no matter what type of relationships you're in, whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, whether it's platonic, in any situation, you know, and what I mean by platonic is like if you're two friends living together, there is always going to be a clash because we are not exactly the same person. And equally, I know that I would annoy myself. So you have to be, you know, kind to yourself with that fact. But a lot of the time, we are recreating these patterns from our personality, and it then projects onto our relationships as well, because ultimately when you aren't fulfilled internally with who you are, you look for it externally. Now that starts with validation, and that could be, you know, these thoughts that we're talking about. It could have been that your very first boyfriend, girlfriend said to you that the other girl over there is really pretty. and she was a couple of sizes smaller than you, and then you associated someone being pretty with being skinny, and it creates that ideal. Again, within the workplace, like if you did a job and you were told that your work wasn't good enough in that one instance, you would then deem your self-worth as being like that one time that you really tried hard and it didn't land right as the way you did. You would then think that you were not good enough at that job, when actually, if you proofread what you've written, would you agree? Would you say, actually, yeah, that was one bit of work that I didn't really do my best at? That's okay. And also, when you are self-aware and you know your strengths and weaknesses, you can question the origin. So you can actually say, actually, you know what, that was a really great piece of work. Maybe that person is just having a bad day today, because that's also what it is. There's so much power in the reframe, and that's where we begin to create the positive case study for ourselves. And that goes for relationships, that goes for inner work and the validation game. So with a lot of people that suffer with a low self-esteem or low self-worth, it really does start with one, like I said, owning the story and owning the origin of where the negative thought comes from, but it's backing up your self-worth with dedication and consistency. So if you feel like you are not good enough or you're not worthy enough, it's about showing yourself that you are, and then that is your point. And the evidence of it is saying, well, say, for example, you would call yourself lazy, right? That's one. So maybe one of your ideals is, no, I'm just a lazy person. And then you're making a pact now to get out of this patterning. So what you do is every day you set your alarm a little bit earlier, and you've got a routine. So the minute you get out of bed, maybe you've moved your phone to the other side of the room and you get straight into meditation, or straight away you go and get fresh air, open the window, take a deep breath in, or go out onto your balcony, and then you go straight down to make yourself a cup of tea. So every day you're doing that an hour earlier than what you did before. So when that thought comes into your head that I'm lazy comes in, you're like, no, I'm not lazy, because every day this week I've consistently done this, which proves that I'm not lazy. And actually, labels in general, when we really actually identify them and call them out by what they are, like the word lazy, we take its power away a little bit. Like lazy could mean that you are just tired, you know? And it's when we have to really reframe things in order to regain our power in the situation. So maybe you work nights and you struggle to get up in the morning because you're in late, or maybe you've got a newborn baby and they're up all night. You're not lazy, you're just tired, and you're human. I think we get so caught up in this being perfect that we forget that we are human and we are meant to make mistakes. Because I can guarantee you, if you look at your life, if you zoom out of your life and look back at everything that's happened to you, you can see that in every situation, one mistake led to a positive outcome and a reroute to get you to where you are now. And that's the beauty of life, because if you didn't have any mistakes, if you didn't have any setbacks or any problems, you actually wouldn't learn anything. There's some beautiful philosophical quotes about this, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it's very much that there's so much more learned in a mistake than there is in a win. And I think that's it. Like they always say that a winner is someone that's lost enough times and just kept going. And that really is it with your life and dedication to who you want to be. It's all within that. And again, within the patterns of relationships, like ultimately, again, our self-worth really is the key to all of this stuff. The self-worth and the self-awareness is the key to your whole life and to why your relationship patterns might not have worked. Because again, it's that external validation that you're searching for from another. And it's all about how you were loved as a child. Now, that's a very, very deep statement, I'm fully aware. But as you might have guessed, there's nothing surface level about my conversations. And just, yeah, bear with me on this one. So, for example, it works in a very complex way. And again, I always say like trauma is a spectrum, because you can have what I call reverse trauma, which is when you are nurtured and loved so deeply by your family that you're almost mollycoddled to the point where you have no idea what conflict is or what problems are, because you were never shown them. and you have this false idea of what perfect is because you think people don't argue. That's the one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is that you were completely neglected and abandoned as a child, so you didn't see love. Now, both of them could have the exact same effect of love feeling like it isn't possible. And what that could cause you to do is that when you see love and it comes near you, you detach and you run away. Or because you haven't had it before, or because you've only ever seen it, you attach to it so strongly. So equally, both different styles, and there is more attachment styles, but I'm talking about anxious and detached at the moment. The secure attachment style obviously is when you're secure in yourself, you understand the ebb and flows of relationship. But ultimately, the attached and the anxious are come from both ends of trauma. So whether you've had seen beautiful love flourish in your home and you haven't, ultimately both attachment styles will arrive from that. So it is complex, and it's about you unpacking it and understanding why. And a really interesting thing in my own life is I noticed that I have been detached completely throughout my whole life because I didn't get to really witness what love was until I got to my mid-20s. And that wasn't through my own relationship, that was through seeing others, because every other relationship I'd seen in my life and been a part of, I had been let down or abandoned or neglected, So it is that, for me, that case study of it isn't possible or it's hard, and all of that. And then when I did get a taste of it being something, I then kind of found myself wanting to cling on to it more. And then that also isn't healthy. But because I was able to identify it, I was able to call my power back to myself and come back to a place of security. Now, healing does take time in any situation. And ultimately, these tests and challenges that we face in relationship will only be cured in a relationship. So, we can grow our self-awareness to a point of, absolute wisdom heights. But equally, until you're facing that situation, that's when you'll be tested. But I think in order to have a healthy relationship, you need to know who you are first, because again, like I said, you are a mirror to your universe. So if you are continually falling into patterns with maybe toxic partners or, manipulative partners, narcissistic relationships, or maybe you are a person that detaches or goes hot and cold, that is where you need to pause and take time for yourself and be on your own in order to really understand what it is you need and want for yourself in terms of validation, affection. Find out what your love language is. Now, your love language is like 5 different ones. It's like acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation. There's like lots of different ones there. Find out what it is that you need to feel loved and appreciated. And you can also go based on your star sign. Like, I know, being a Leo, I need to feel appreciated. That is just a top tier thing for me. I need to hear that from my friendships, from a romantic relationship. And then I also like acts of service. Like, that's really important to me. So, I could go in a whole relationship for a year and not receive a gift. And actually, well, let's not lie. I mean, my birthday and Christmas, I would expect a gift, and Valentine's Day. But I mean, generally, like, I wouldn't need gifts every week. I would just need someone to make sure my bath's run when I get in, or my dinner's made, or a cup of tea's on the table when I get there. These little things mean so much more to me. Now, yours will be completely different. Maybe you are someone that does like gifts, and that's really important for you, that you have a fresh bunch of flowers every time you turn up and see your person, So when you understand yourself, that self-awareness thing is such a key thing. And also, when you are in line with who you are, you understand what you need to feel worthy and feel validated, and you're able to give that to yourself, then the relationship that you're in will just be an additional amplification of that. So then you're not searching for validation in another person. And this is what bridges this healthy, beautiful gap. And ultimately, whether you are anxious or detached, it's that fear of not having this thing that feels so amazing, because you run away from it because you're scared of how impactful it could be on your life and how much it could change your life. And then you don't want to let it go in the other sense because you know how amazing it is, or how amazing it could feel. And ultimately, we all don't want to get hurt. But as I said, just like the mistakes that we need to shape us into who we are is equally why we need that in our relationships. I think in society, we're really taught that you're supposed to be one person forever. But realistically, the divorce rates are higher than the marriage rates these days. So what does that tell you? That everyone's changing and evolving constantly. And I think if we were searching to just find happiness and fulfillment in a relationship for however long it lasts, rather than for forever, I think we would find a bit more happiness. I think we put far too much pressure, one on ourselves and two on another person, because again, it's not someone else's responsibility to make you happy, it's yours. So you have to really understand what you need for you first, and then go into a relationship with that in mind. Now, sometimes it takes longer. Like, I am fully aware of the trauma that I've had in my life and how it's played an important part in my relationships, whether that be friendships or romantic. And I've had to do a lot of work in order to be ready. But I know now that I fully am ready. And when it comes through to me, it will be right because I have done that work. And I'm not in a position where I'm willing to accept less than what I deserve. Whereas sometimes when we're searching for validation outside of ourselves and not inside of ourselves, we are looking for it in those other people. And unfortunately, manipulators and narcissists can pick up on those people that need it. I've never been in a relationship with a narcissist or a manipulative person, because they can tell a mile away, she ain't up for it, mate. She's gonna beat me. And I would. In the nicest possible way. Obviously, I don't condone violence, but equally, ain't no games getting played here, hun. You need to cut it. And that'd literally be it. I think I dated a guy once, and he had a bit of narcissistic tendencies, and he was out. One guy I was talking to quite recently, actually, and I was like, you gotta go. And whether they respect you for it or not, you respect yourself more for it. And that's the outcome there. There are 7 billion people in this world. There is at least one of them for you, and there's more than one. And equally, I believe that we are all on this journey of our lives, and everything will work out as it should. So if you are single right now, your time for your relationship is coming. Maybe you need to know yourself first. And if you are in a relationship but you're not happy, how can you love you more? And that's really important. Like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your likes and dislikes? And how can you add more of that into your relationship? Because ultimately, you might find that your partner isn't the problem. Your relationship isn't the problem. It's a relationship with yourself, and how you're maybe expecting your partner to meet your needs that you aren't meeting for yourself. And that's like a really key point of everything. Like, as I said at the beginning, like, your whole universe is affected by you. So how you feel about yourself will be projected on the outside world. And this is how we start to break trauma cycles and patterns, because when we're just carrying out that same thing we've always done, we're always going to get the same results. So like I said, if you constantly go for toxic partners and you're wondering why this one isn't loving you yet, do you love you? Do you respect you? Do you make you a priority? Because if you don't, then that's why this man isn't, or woman, or whoever. And I think it is a core. It's in your core being. But equally, please don't take away from the fact that this could be a learning experience. And I know that sounds a bit naff, and it sounds like, oh, great, another learning experience. Trust me, if you want to know about learning experience, I've been through the whole dictionary back to front 17 times, But clearly, if I didn't go through all of these things in my life, I wouldn't have the wisdom to share with you all now. So yes, I took one for the team. I took a few for the team. I'll take it, it's fine. But yes, I just want you to know that you are worthy of everything you want and so much more. And as I said, it's about creating this new case study. Maybe you haven't been successful in romantic relationships, but have you been successful in other relationships? Like, if you're looking at, how you feel validated, and is it by others? Think about, to build up this new case study that I am worthy. Think about all of the people in your life that love you. In fact, write a list. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's work colleagues, maybe it's friends that have become family, maybe it's your actual family members, and write them by name so you can see a list of how many people love you. And I can guarantee you there's going to be 5 or more people there. And that is just a stepping stone, you know. And if you're feeling like you're not good enough, write a list of all the skills that you have, you know, whatever it is, piano, algebra, graphic design, you know, all of these things. And it could, you can break that down into subcategories, you know, even more, you know, like within graphic design, maybe it's content creating or time lapsing, or yeah, I have no idea about graphic design. I'm just pulling it out of the air. But you know, look, write a list of all the things you're good at, and then that is again evidence for you to see that. It's just about creating this new case study. You know, you have a whole library of reasons why you're not good enough. Let's start to create reasons about why you are good enough, why you are valid. And when you start to see them at least once, you will see them everywhere. And again, when you start to build that trust in yourself, that belief in yourself, that worth in yourself, you will see it so much in the outside world. And that is truly what you deserve to see, feel, and receive every single day. So, yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I have recorded a guided visualization. So it's a bit like a meditation, but I talk you through it with imagery. And I'm going to add it into this podcast. So if you're not in the space now to listen, whether you're driving or something like that, I want you to come back to it the second half and listen to it in your own time. Visualizations for me are really powerful because I got into meditation a lot for, you know, calming my mind through trauma. And that was really hard because my tabs were constantly open. And even when I sat down quietly, and even now when I sit down quietly, it takes me a while for my mind to quiet. Whereas if I have something to focus on and something to think about, it just channels my energy into that space. And I can really see quite clearly in my mind's eye when I'm meditating and visualizing. And you know, if you're a reader and you read stories, you might be the same. So it's a really good, nice thing to try, see how you get on with it. And please let me know, obviously, your thoughts and feelings. The visualization is 10 minutes and I'm attaching it to the podcast. But equally, I'll put the YouTube link in as well. So in case you want to go back to it another time without listening to the whole podcast, that's absolutely fine. But yes, in order to break the patterns and cycles and outdated and limiting beliefs that we've had before, we need to, one, understand where they came from and pull it apart. It's a bit like I was saying to my clients, it's almost like if anyone's seen Venom, and it's a superhero film, basically he wears this suit that's an alien and it peels off of him. And that's what needs to happen. We need to peel that layer off of us of, you know, that we're wearing this victim, not even victim, but these outdated thoughts and opinions that don't belong to us. And even, you know, the origin of maybe the weight thing, you know, like I'm not beautiful because I'm not this weight. It's pulling that attachment to it off of us, understanding that actually that wasn't your opinion. That's because society expects all women to be a size 8 to 10 to be beautiful. And that's, I don't believe that at all. I think everyone is beautiful exactly how they are. I see women all different shapes and sizes all the time, and I'm in constant awe of women. And actually, ultimately, how you feel about yourself and how you carry yourself is what makes you even more beautiful. And you're beautiful anyway, you know. So it's just pulling that apart, understanding that, dismantling that case study. And actually, I mean, you could set fire to all of that. You could literally burn the books down that said you were not good enough. All of those examples of people that have told you were not good enough and showed you were not good enough, burn it. And you could do that by writing letters. That's a really important thing that I share in all of my practices and with my one-to-one clients and all of my workshops. It's something so symbolic about writing forgiveness letters, letting go letters to the people, the situations that don't serve you anymore, and burning them away, because there's so much power in burning, and then it goes to ash, and then it's out of your mind, body, and soul, and release it outside. Get some fresh air, get lots of water in your body to integrate the new feeling in the space. And when you have the space in your body, the old thoughts and feelings aren't taking up that room anymore. That's when you start to reinforce that positive and beautiful space of the new case study of validation. You know, why are you validated in this space? You know, how many people love you? How are you so good at all of these things? Like, these are all of your skills. Like, you're incredible at these skills. And then you see it, you create that new routine that, you know, if you're unmotivated, it's like, can you set reminders in your phone to get up and do certain things at certain times of the day? And then when you do it, you can confirm to yourself, I am valid, I am worthy, I am enough because I said I was going to do this thing and I've done it. And you're proving to yourself every single day. Every time you choose you, every time you put your boundaries up and you don't say yes when you want to say no, that is you showing yourself that you have and deserve the most respect. And that is when the universe, the world, the people around you will respond to you the way you respond to yourself. So yes, I just want to leave you with that. And again, that'll affect all the relationships in your life. Yeah, I hope you all have a beautiful week and I will speak to you soon. And remember the visualizations next. Lots of love, guys.
Today, I'm going to be taking you through a guided visualization that's going to reinforce your future manifestations through accessing some of the memories that you have to reinforce why you're worthy of the things that you want and to show you that it's possible to have them. So we're connecting your subconscious mind with your conscious mind to help you manifest the life and the reality of your dreams. My name's Sherisse Bisram and I'm an inner power activation leader for women, but this is for everyone. So what I want you to do is find a safe, comfortable position in a quiet area, and I want you to close your eyes. Get nice and comfortable, and you're just going to focus on your breath. Breathing really deeply in, fill your whole lungs and your body on your in-breath. Let's take it in for 4. Breathe it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And out all the air out of your body. This time, I want you to take that air and take it all the way up to the top of your body, to the top of the universe. Breathe that in and take that breath as high as you possibly can. Imagine a white light at the very top. Breathe in to reach that white light. Breathe in a really deep breath and up. At the top, you're going to hold. And when you breathe out, you're going to take that beautiful white light all the way through your body, down through to the core of the earth. Breathing out. At the base of your spine, you're going to take that breath, breathe it up to the highest point, again to that beautiful white light, breathing it up. And breathing that light all the way through your body, down to the core of the earth, breathing it out. On your in-breath, you're going to let that breath come up through your body, and it's going to stop at your third eye space in the middle of your forehead. Now that light is starting to swirl open, and it's creating a doorway. You're going to imagine yourself stepping through that doorway through your third eye, and you're going to reach a corridor. And as you're walking through this corridor, it's all white. Just a beautiful white light space, and there's a path in front of you, and you can see at the other end there's a door. But in order to get to the door, you have to keep walking, and along the walls you're being projected all the beautiful memories that you have of your life, all the incredible times and the moments of pure and utter joy you're seeing as you walk through, like a montage. When you open that door, you hold the handle. It feels exciting. It feels like that moment where you know something incredible is about to happen. Feel your body and your soul get excited to open up. And when you open it up and you step through that door, you are met with one of the best memories that you have of your life. The moment where you were the most happiest. The moment where your soul was filled with so much joy. Maybe it's a birthday party. Maybe it's a family gathering. Maybe it's a holiday. It's just a beautiful memory that you have. And you are now going to feel into that memory. Feel into those emotions. What were the conversations that you were having at that time? Who were you with? What felt really nice? What were you wearing at the time? Can you feel that material on your skin? Can you remember what you were eating or drinking? Can you remember the touch of someone's hand that you were with at the time? The conversations. You can hear people laughing in the background if that's where you were, or the sound of the sea hitting the shore. Really take in this moment, be in it, remember every single part of it, and look around. Take a 360 view and just bask in that moment and really breathe it in. Take a few deep breaths here, breathing in, filling yourself up with so much joy. And again, another deep breath. Amazing. We're just going to take in every part of it. And you are in this happy, high state of emotion, this beautiful memory that you have that was incredible. And you look round and you can see another door. And this door looks different. It looks shiny and it looks exciting, even more so than this memory. You're going to step through this door and everything is starting to move around you, to shift. And you are now stepping into your ideal future reality. You're already on that higher vibrational frequency because you know how it feels. You know how it feels to have these beautiful memories, and you are now creating a new one. Who are you with? Is it your dream partner? Is it your ideal family scenario? Is it the new job that you've been looking for? Is it that holiday you've been wanting to have? Really feel into this moment. What are you wearing in this ideal reality? Are you the version of yourself you want to be? Did you cut your hair like you were thinking about? Or are you wearing that dress that you've seen in the mirror for so long? Or those trainers that you liked for so long? How does it feel to be in this moment? Move your feet. How does it feel to walk around in this space? Are you in your dream home? If so, how do the kitchen tops feel? How does it feel to make yourself a cup of tea in this space? Are you with people that you love? Maybe you haven't met them yet, but you can just feel that support and that energy around you of feeling accepted deeply. Incredible opportunities. Maybe you're looking to be a parent and you can see yourself picking up your future child. Really take this moment in and see yourself here in this beautiful space. This space that is your future memory. We're imprinting into your mind. Take it all in. Breathe in every part of it. Take a deep breath in. Sink into it. Have one last glance around. Touch the surfaces. Maybe you give someone a hug or a kiss. Feel into this right now. And you're going to stay right here in this manifestation. You're going to feel into it. And all of a sudden, it feels just like we've cemented it in. This is real. This is now. This is where you are. You're going to start to breathe in deeply. A few more breaths here. And that white light is going to start to come back through again. Through to your third eye space. And you are going to step out of this memory straight into your body. Just going to step back through into your body. We're going to start to blink our eyes to open. Move our fingers. Still focusing on our breath. And you're going to blink your eyes to open up. We have just stepped straight out of our memory into our body. We have imprinted this memory in our mind now. And what happens with manifestation is when your mind thinks that it's real, it will happen. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what you want to receive and what you've actually received. So what we've done is we've created a positive association through the memories that you've had in the past to the memories that you're going to have in the future. That means it's inevitable. We've set it in stone now. Your dream reality is yours and about to be received. You can tap into this at any moment. Remember, time doesn't exist in the universe, so keep your vibration high and keep your memory that you've created at the front of your mind, because you can absolutely have it. If you can see it in your mind's eye, then you can feel it in your reality. I look forward to hearing about what you've manifested and how they come in. Have a beautiful day. Make sure you have lots of water and some fresh air after this. The life of your dreams is already yours. Lots of love and light.
Sherisse Bisram, Inner Power Activation Leader for Women. If you are ready to up-level, to elevate, to ignite your inner flame, to burn everything you once were, to trailblaze into your future, into all of your manifestations and more, then head to my website to book a free 30-minute alignment call. I have one-to-one containers available for 90 days and 180 days. I also have an online program for 6 weeks. It's a group program for women called Permission to Shine. That's also available as a self-study as well. I have a journal available on Etsy as well as worksheets. There's multiple ways to work with me, and I'm here to help you. You deserve to shine, to be the most amazing, most confident, fearless version of yourself. What are you waiting for?